going to ask Joe and Jesse, Jean, and Ita to stand, but now that you've all met them, I think that might be a bit superfluous. But they are the reason that I am here tonight, because you guys are the reason that Grandma Phyllis agreed to allow Lincoln Square Synagogue to make her our guest of honor this year and to publicly recognize her accomplishments. Your Grandma Phyllis is a person with many enthusiasms, and right up there with you and the rest of your family and her sorority sisters is an almost 50-year-long romance with Lincoln Square Synagogue and the brand of open and welcoming Judaism it represents. She wants you, Joe, Jesse, Jean, and Ita, to be aware of what she has helped to bring about, and more importantly, why she has done it. Your grandma and I have been friends, best friends, for 40 years. One of the few core disagreements / ongoing discussions we've had over these many years concerns the concept of unconditional love. She, with her mathematical mind, is skeptical that it can exist, although once you guys came into her life, that belief was sorely tested. However, if there is one thing that I can state with near mathematical certainty, it is that if unconditional love can be defined as 50 years of a continuous, tireless, requited passion, then Phyllis Getzler possesses unconditional love for this congregation, Lincoln Square Synagogue. Joe, Jesse, Jean, Ita, I got to know your grandparents in 1972. I was 24 years old, freshly married, and had been a member of Lincoln Square for 2 years. I perceived Stanley and Phyllis as the Prince William and Kate Middleton of our community. An impossibly glamorous and dazzling couple, and was honored when I was asked to chair the journal that celebrated the successful completion of Stanley's presidency. And a decade later, I had the privilege of co-chairing the Buy the Bank campaign with them, which raised $1 million, it sounds so little now, in a few short weeks, enabling us to purchase the building next door. And today I serve on the fundraising committee for Lincoln Square's new building, which is again being run by Grandma Phyllis. And she is working every bit as hard, with every bit of the passion, enthusiasm, kindness, generosity of spirit, and success that she demonstrated almost 50 years ago when she and Grandpa Stanley were founders of this shul and rang doorbells in Lincoln Towers to recruit new members. Joe, Jesse, Jean, Ita, do you know why your grandmother has devoted her life to this work? Because Uncle Itzik's Phyllisel has a passion for Yiddishkeit that found its most profound expression through the philosophy that Rabbi Riskin brought to this congregation, and through it to the Upper West Side, this city, and then the world. Lincoln Square Synagogue would not have been worthy of the Herculean labors of Phyllis Getzler if it had been insular and self-satisfied. Grandma Phyllis and Grandpa Stanley, who we are so grateful to have with us tonight, were full partners in the effort to redefine and re-engineer the modern practice of American Judaism. Not for them was a congregation that did not reach out to the entire community and every Jew within it. Not for them was a synagogue that did not have education at the core of its mission. Not for them was a shul that was not totally devoted to the growth and safety of the state of Israel. And not for them was a shul that did not afford women every possible opportunity for spiritual growth and leadership. Before LSS, there was not a single kosher certified restaurant on the Upper West Side. Before LSS, there were no beginner services at any of its shuls. Before LSS, there were no organized chesed programs. There was no drisha. There wasn't even a thought that a congregation like Darchei Noam could exist. LSS and its programs and achievements were the spark that lit up the entire West Side and made it the preeminent Jewish community in America and a model for all denominations of what a synagogue and a Jewish community must be if it is to remain relevant and thrive. This, guys, this lively, enriching, passionate community we all take as our birthright exists because of the efforts of Grandma Phyllis and people like her, who shared her passion for all things Jewish and created a place that thousands and thousands of people found as appealing as she did. Your grandma is many things, but at the core she is a mathematician. As Tom Lehrer puts it, some of you may have met mathematicians and wondered how they got that way. Sofia Kovalevskaya was one of the great mathematicians of the 19th century and the first woman to earn a PhD in math. She was quoted as saying that it is impossible to be a mathematician without being a poet in soul. Judaism has been the core poetry in the life of the soul of Phyllis Claire Resnick Getzler. It has manifested itself in the family that she has created and the community to which she has dedicated her life. The award she has allowed us to present to her tonight takes the physical form of an elegant Tiffany bread knife whose silver handle is braided in the shape of a challah. Phyllis is the one who cuts and bakes the challah in her home, and as inscribed on here is our breadwinner. And Gloria gets credit for that. And we hope she and Stanley will use it in good health for many, many years to come. However, the spiritual aspect of this honor is that it is called la'asot, to do. And there could be no more appropriate tribute to pay to Phyllis than to acknowledge her nearly 50 years of just that, doing. And we hope and pray that the example she sets has been imprinted on her children and her children's children and all those who have had the privilege to know her and benefit from her labors, so that the passionate Judaism that has exemplified her life will continue midor, lador, lador, from generation to generation to generation. Mazel tov.